They'll say, oh, you just quoted the Torah or the Old Testament. That's Adam and Eve. That's religion. You're religious, and that energy controls, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. So part of what's happened in the unbalanced positive plague is that people take out like the essence of religion, and they throw it out with the bathwater. They throw that baby out with the bathwater, which is a problem that I find a lot of places that's leading to a general sense that nothing is sacred, nothing is holy, because everything is sacred and everything is holy, lacking a discernment. So this is something I see often, and that I'd love to share with you today so that you could understand and see and recognize if this lives inside of you, and also help share this, because as I'm going to get into further in this video, there are more and more increasing problems associated with the unbalanced positive that I'll share with you shortly. The concept, Edmund Burke said that all it takes for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. And I really agree with this, and I think that this is one of the most important problems that is associated with the positive plague. First of all, we have to look at this concept of evil itself. Does evil exist? What the unbalanced positive does is it tries to lump everything together into a big happy world of positivity and acceptance. But it's gone overboard. It's lacking the balance with the male energy, which can have judgment. Now, when Chesed and Gevura in the tree of life are balanced together, Chesed is the energy of, oh, I understand you, I accept you for who you are. And Gevura is an energy of discernment and boundary setting to say, well, I don't really like that behavior in you. I don't find that serving the goodness of our interaction. I don't find the way that you're being, the way you're treating your dog or your friends or the world in general, I don't find that good. That's the discerning quality of Gevura, of the male energy. So in this world, as people have become more and more towards the positive as a reaction from the control of the negative, they say, well, everything is okay. And if we take that one step further, basically what a lot of the philosophies have emerged, they say that good and evil is all part of God. Now this needs a lot of discernment, because it leads to a terrible problem where people lack discernment and lack the ability to stand up and to discern, to set a difference between what is good, what is God, what is love, and what is not good, what is evil, what is false, what is an illusion, and what is actually not what we want to be a part of at all. Now, it's true to say, to arrive at a balance between good and evil is to understand that in the beginning of time as we know it, that the Creator was in a state of undifferentiated oneness, and that oneness was good. That everything that the Creator visualizes and experiences within itself is of the nature of good, because it is the nature of love, and love is good. Now, what was lacking at that time is the ability to experience itself, and all of creation could not experience the good because there was no bad. So there's a lack, an inability to experience and appreciate the goodness because it's only ever been good. And so what is that good? Because there's nothing to compare it to. So God, in my awareness, in the Kabbalistic model, did create evil for a purpose. And the purpose is to challenge us, to bring us outside of our true nature, to bring us outside of the unity and the oneness of God, to actually challenge us towards a path of death and destruction. So that serves a purpose. And so we don't need to freak out about the existence of evil and run screaming the sky is falling. But what we do need to be aware of is that energy was created to specifically bring us outside of our true nature, outside of love, and it leads to death and destruction and suffering. And that is not meant to be. Yes, the challenge, the game of life, the challenge for us to grow and to come to be able to appreciate who we are is meant to be. But following evil, aligning with evil, believing evil is a part of God is not understanding the existence of evil correctly. It is lacking discernment, lacking that veil that needs to sit between good and evil. In the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose, I believe that this touched my heart, this movie, very deeply. It's a disturbing movie, but the message of Emily Rose is that evil does exist. And in understanding that, you understand that the other side exists as well, which is the good side, the good angels, the love creator. So by understanding or witnessing the way she gave her life so that people could see that evil does exist, what it does and what it did for me in particular is it made my understanding and the discernment of the good and the evil grow, so that my appreciation, my understanding, and my embodiment of the good grew as well. Versus just all of this good and evil being accepted all collectively, lacking a discernment, so that nothing is sacred, nothing is holy, because everything is holy and everything is not holy. There is holiness, there is truth, there is love, and that is for us to discover within ourselves what that is, and to discern what is not is very, very important. So some of the other problems that have evolved out of the unbalanced positive is a notion that everything that happens is God's will. Another way of saying that is that it's meant to be. Now, one thing I didn't share with you is that because the tree of life, the right column, is the source, then the positive, the female energy, is the source of truth, is the source of life, is the source of love. And the male is the extension, that which takes it forward, disseminates it, grows it, pushes it forward. And by pushing it forward, it actually draws more from the source, and this is how there's a feedback and a loop between the positive and the negative, or the male and the female and the male. But now, sometimes when the male is not being used in balance with the female, when there's this split, the female tends to apply the universal truths that it receives out of context. So the idea of something being meant to be is definitely something that many of us, if not all of us, have experienced in our lives, a synchronicity, a feeling of flow with the universal truth, meeting people at the right time, things falling into place. And that could even be negative sometimes, that it was meant to be, that you were at a place where you witnessed something horrible and it taught you something. Or you hurt yourself, that taught you something. That's true. There is meant to be. Now, however, we can apply it in the wrong place, in the wrong time, in order to be positive. We could use this positive energy, this positive idea, to smear over the negativity and not to deal with the negativity properly, because we can't deal with it. It's too painful. We can't handle it. So we use our beautiful heart of hearts, our sweet, innocent heart of hearts, and we smear everything with this positive energy that doesn't belong in certain contexts. I'll give you an example. After 9/11 happened, this orchestrated, you know, if you start studying the 9/11 occurrence, you see that there were some very scary and unfortunate internal involvement in the U.S. with these terrorists who killed all these people, who took the human life. The taking of human life is the taking of the most precious gift that we have, life. Life. The tree of life is called the tree of life, Etz HaChaim, because life itself is the greatest gift that we're given. And it should be valued above all things, because it is the most valuable thing. How can you say that 9/11 was meant to be? Now, I bring this up as an example of the unbalanced positive, because after it happened, I received some things in the email from the internet, channeled information, channeled from the Archangel Gabriel. God bless the Archangel Gabriel, but I'm going like this because I don't think it came from Gabriel. I think it came from some angel entity that had its head up its unbalanced positive butt. 9/11, all this death, all this control, evil coordinating itself so that wars could be had from it, and the elite class can make tons of money off of people dying.